Yo, it's me, CSCOTT baby, and I'm back with my review of the 2005 film, The Crow Wicked Prayer, starring Edward Furlong, Tara Reid, David Boreanaz, and is directed by Lance Mungia. Alright, so going into this was on the bottom of my list. I hated this film. Just because it was so against really what The Crow was about. I mean, it had the basic premise of a couple dies, Crow brings the guy back, he goes to get revenge, but then you add in the devil and the four horsemen of the apocalypse. It's just a whole bunch of things mooshed together, all schmuzzed together, and it's just kind of, Well, watching through these movies, I didn't hate it quite as much as I usually do. There are problems, though, and we're going to talk about that. First and foremost, what I usually talk about, the acting. Well, what's the story first? Okay, the story is that Jimmy Cuervo and his girlfriend are murdered, and it's a sacrifice for a devil ritual by this group. Or the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Basically, they're human proximities of it. War, famine, pestilence, and death. With death is David Boreanaz's character, Luke, who eventually becomes Lucifer. I don't know. But, yeah. And then the Crow, of course, brings Jimmy back for vengeance. And he gets his revenge. Acting. David Boreanaz. He's the best actor in this film. Besides Danny Trejo, who's also in this film, but David Boreanaz can act. He's good at portraying a villain, and he's great in that, especially once he becomes Lucifer. The jealous, evil, vampire type character that he played comes out. And he becomes that character, and he's great at it. Edward Furlong. I think this is before he stopped giving a shit, because he's decent in this. Not great, but decent. Emmanuel Shariki, who plays his girlfriend, she's alright. Danny Trejo, of course, he's great. Tara Reid. It's Tara Reid. What can you say? Oh no, don't. Leave me alone. Oh no. Does she ever care? It's Tara Reid. Who knows? Tara Reid can't act anyway, but it's Tara Reid. The whole devil worshiper thing, I always thought was something that just didn't make any sense because it was never part of The Crow in any of them. But they basically, if you think about it though, The Crow is sent from heaven to help these people get back at the people who wronged them. So it's kind of like the Crow is a representation of heaven. And so when you put him up against Lucifer, yeah, it kind of works that way. So they utilize the Crow. When they kill the Crow, he loses his powers. And Danny Trejo does this Native American dance, in spite of the fact that he's Mexican. But he does this Native American dance, and he brings the Crow back to life. And that gives Jimmy his superpowers back, and he's eventually able to defeat Lucifer, Luke, whatever. This movie goes all over the place. And then, okay, there's this final fight, right? You got Danny Trejo and all the Native Americans shooting at the bad guys. They're shooting at, I think it's War and Jimmy. And the sheriff, he's like, no, because he knows Jimmy's a good guy. No, don't shoot at him. And, Danny Trejo doesn't want to hear about it. Just shoot him. No. And, eventually the guy, because War is like, he's covered in explosives. So he lights himself and he explodes. And then, the weird thing is, they were shooting at him, right? And then when Luke grabs Jimmy, carries him back out, and there's a big tussle between them. There's no one there. No shooting, nothing. And then Luke he basically kills him, sort of, drags him and drapes him up in this dark temple place. Basically a Satan church or something. And he comes back out, and then the Native Americans are back. Where were they during the scuffle? I mean, come on. And then they do the dance. They bring the crow back. There's less yellow than the last two. It's better acted than City of Angels, but not better than Salvation or the original. Like I said, the only thing I really don't like about this movie is the Lucifer plotline. I mean, I've seen Supernatural, but it seems like a plotline from Supernatural where Jimmy is like one of the Winchesters trying to stop Lucifer's plan or something. I don't know. But here, I think, and now that I thought about it, like I explained it, the crow or Jimmy represents heaven, and Lucifer obviously represents hell, so that kind of works. Maybe that's what they were thinking when they wrote it, but yeah, it fits. Now that I'm watching through these, it does kind of work for me, but yeah, just the whole idea of this, like, I did laugh at this because there's a part where Tara Reid sort of turns on him and stabs him in the back, literally with a knife, and he falls down, and like in a side road, and he falls down like he's dead, and he pops back up like he's fine, and he stands there for a few minutes with the knife still in his back, like it's nothing, because he's Lucifer now, What else can I say to this movie, man? I mean, it's shown that Jimmy and Luke were in prison together and were sort of friends. I guess I don't get why he chose them. Because it's just like... And like, it's very... How do I say? If he had gotten there earlier, this wouldn't have happened. So it's the sheriff's fault, and the sheriff is actually her brother. But it's the sheriff's fault because Jimmy was on his bike, on his way there, and the sheriff deliberately pulls over and knocks him on his ass. And notices he's going to propose, and he's like, you better be just going to say goodbye. And, I understand he's been to prison, but there are some people who go to prison and they actually, change after going to prison. And it's like Jimmy is one of those characters. Luke is not, but Jimmy is one of those. But they don't give him a chance. And it's because of this that he's late to go get his girlfriend. And thus, that's why this whole plot happens. If he had not done that, he would have gotten there a little bit earlier. Maybe never make it out. Who knows? Maybe not. But I'm just saying. All in all, guys, yeah, this is a short review because there's not much to talk about. It's not bad. I know I said The Crow City of Angels wasn't the worst, but after watching this, I've actually enjoyed it more than City of Angels, which is weird because I've always said this movie was shit. But I'm going to give it a 7. It was decent. Dave Boreanaz really brings it up a notch for me. So yeah, 7 out of 10. So a few announcements quick before I end. I got my living room set up to where I think I can start doing my Angel reviews again. So that might be restarting again. And then I'm gonna do a video on this shelf and show you all the Blu-rays on this shelf. I got a 90s DVD Blu-ray shelf for the movies, 90s movies. I'm gonna do a video on, and then I'm going to go through and find my favorite DVD movies that aren't in the 90s, and I'm gonna stack them over here, and I'll do a video on those too. So look for those videos. And I've been looking. I'm not gonna do a top 10 favorite remakes, non-horror, because I can't find that many. So that video is out the window. But until those videos, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.